Abraham, before meeting you, I kind of looked at life in the sense of the word like I was moving along a path, and this path had branches all the time. It kept forking this way and that way, and I could choose to go to the left one or the right one and so on and so forth. And then if I got to a point in life where things didn't feel right, then I would try to get back to the last fork in the road and maybe consider going the other way. In other words, I always felt I could go out the same door I came in, so to speak, as far as problems. But now after talking to you, it seems like you're saying I don't have to double back. I could just start fresh right here on this point on the path.
Really, we are talking about the same thing, because when we talk about finding your balance or drawing backward or inward to your state of beingness, in a sense, it is like backing up to that fork in the road. You are so action-oriented as physical creatures and believing so much that your action must fix everything. And what we are so much wanting you to understand is that action taken from a place of lack is always counterproductive. And so back up your path a little bit. Back up from your decision a little bit. While you often do not know what to do, you always know how you want to feel. And if you will start with that feeling place, then you have backed up the path. And then the options will be much clearer to you.
There was a gentleman that called you a while back, and he said something like, for the first 3 months of our marriage, he said, my wife and I had sex 3 or 4 times each day. But now after a few years, it's actually reached the point that sex, the activity, is distasteful to my wife. And so if I don't make it happen, it just doesn't happen. And she's not interested in any form of mental stimulation like words or films or books or anything. She won't allow anything that would shift her focus in that direction for any period of time. And I wouldn't want to have sex with her if she doesn't enjoy it, because it's not pleasurable for me if it's not pleasurable for her. So my question would be to you, what thoughts must I change in order to change the experience that I'm having in this particular case?
Your asker of this question is a true co-creator, for he is recognizing that he does not find pleasure in moving forward unless the counterpart of his co-creation is finding pleasure also.
Correct.
And that is a very good thing. Let's talk about it. Here are two beings. Let us say she is working at one place and he is working another. And each of them are offering thought all through the day. And so by virtue of the thought that they are holding, each of them are coming to a different place. Now the day is done and they bring themselves through action together. But they are two beings who, while they are joined in a marriage, while they are joined in commitment, while they're joined in all sorts of obligations, they are in this moment not joined in thought. In other words, they are coming from two different directions. And so to expect the other one to be right there where you are, wanting precisely what you want, is really asking a great deal. And so what we would encourage is that you do some pre-paving. Psychically, mentally, reach out to your mate during the day with your thoughts of appreciation and your thoughts of approval. And when you come together, say words to one another that bring each other to the point of harmony. In other words, look for the positive aspects in her. Look for the positive aspects in yourself. Even if she's not at the place at seeing them in you, look for them anyway. Look for reasons to feel good. Because when you're feeling good, you are oozing or radiating positive energy. And that positive energy is literally reaching out and evoking it from the other. What we have observed with most is that they want something that another doesn't want. And so they notice that the other isn't wanting, and that makes them feel lack. And then as they are oozing their feeling of disappointment, as they are feeling the lack, then they make their demands, and then they wonder why the other is getting more resistant and further away. And so the key to all of this, the key to having a happier life experience, the key to having fuller, more satisfying co-creation on all levels, and the key to having more pleasurable, harmonious sexual interaction is to more of the time look for reasons to feel good. Look for the positive aspects of your beingness. Look for the positive aspects of your partner. Look for the positive aspects of life in general, and see if you do not find yourself feeling more in harmony with self. You see, you can act under any and all conditions. There are only two motivations to act. One is from your place of lack, and that is usually angry, frustrated action, and it always makes things worse. And the other is action that is motivated from your pure desire, from your positive wanting. And so your friend is very wise when he says, even though I am really wanting it, I am really wanting to taste the deliciousness of my partner, I am not wanting to move forward if she is not wanting to. And what we say to him is, by focusing upon your own positive aspects and upon her positive aspects, you will evoke from her her own harmony with self. And when she has found her harmony with herself, it is our absolute promise to you that this very balanced and very wonderful sexual wanting will come forth from her. And together you will have an extraordinary experience, even that which you would consider to be ecstasy. And so perhaps you are understanding as you're hearing these words that there is not always that which is right or that which is wrong, but there is that which is appropriate or inappropriate unto you in this moment. And the way for you to know whether your action or your contemplated action is in harmony with your greater wanting, you have only to pay attention to the way that you are feeling. It is our absolute promise to you that if it is your desire to be of value, and to do that which is of uplifting nature or praiseworthy, or to be in a place that you would consider to be right or righteous, that you have only to pay attention to the way that you are feeling. And little by little, you will be able to sort out what is appropriate or inappropriate for you. Do not try to figure it out for the others, because you cannot, just for you. The most fantastic co-creating always comes from two beings who are each in harmony with self. And so rather than focusing upon somebody else not being in harmony, your first order of the day is to find your own place of harmony. And so our encouragement to you is look for more reasons to feel good as an individual. And you will evoke reasons to feel good in your partner, and then together you will have more satisfying experience.
Thank you.
We are complete.
Now, some years ago, as I was visiting with a group of friends of mine, psychiatrists and psychologists in the Spokane area, Washington, and we were at a mental hospital there, and they commented that, I think the exact words I don't recall, but the point was the majority of the people that were incarcerated there were there as a result of their confusion about either religion or sex.
Regarding their confusion or their behavior?
Well, I read it as confusion. It was probably the behavior that got them put in there. But then the other thing that I wanted to add to that is I've noticed through the years that for some reason in our country, when people are really angry or really violent or really trying to hurt someone's feelings, they use the words that are related to sex as curse words and violent words and words of threat and words of anger. And so anytime somebody's really feeling terrible, they use some sexual word in a derogatory state of mind to get their point across that they are really, really miserable, and they really hate someone, or they really like to destroy someone. In our culture,
it is because they are in that moment focused upon lack, and so they take the subject that is of great importance and look at the side of lack about it.
I knew you'd say that. The other thing that I'm extremely aware of is that in our culture, it's quite proper to show on television maiming and crippling and gore and anything horrible and terrible to me as far as destroying the human body, but it is very inappropriate to show the pleasure in the human body, the sexual end of it. And I've never understood that contrast, why the culture has developed to where it can stand hate and anger and pain and can't stand pleasure. Can you explain that one?
We would encourage you to remember that what you are shown upon your television is not a clear representation even of what the mass consciousness is experiencing or is wanting. But there is a very strong attraction to negative, because negative is a very powerful emotion. And as physical creatures, there is an awareness within you that you are powerful, although most of you have not discovered your personal power. And so when you are not knowing your power, to find something that is negative, you are feeling your power. When you get swept up in that negative emotion, you feel the power of it. There is a very strong momentum, you see. The process of pivoting can bring you from that high peak of negative power to a very high peak of positive power. And so we are not so concerned that the society is showing a sort of imbalance. What we would really like all of you to understand is that you are individuals. We would like to help you to remember that if you are waiting around for your society to get straightened out before you have a happy life experience, you will have a very long wait. If you are waiting for anybody else in your experience to get straightened around before you have a happy experience, you will have a very long wait. You are not here to discover that which is perfect. You are here to create or to attract that which is perfect, you see. So it is only a matter of your identifying what you are wanting, focusing upon it, and then attracting it unto you. Let us throw it open for discussion, and we will wedge back into the cracks all of the important points, for there are many who are stimulated, who are wanting to speak.